In this class, we are going to discuss about question number 25, exercise 14.1 probability. Observe this question. Which of the following arguments are correct and which are not correct? Give reasons for your answer. Two questions we are having. We want to check which of the following arguments are correct or which one is not correct. So first question I am taking, if two coins are tossed simultaneously, there are three possible outcomes. This is not correct. Observe question. We know well, once we toss two coins, then we are getting four outcomes. Four outcomes we are getting, and in which we are having there are three possible outcomes. This is wrong. We are getting four outcomes. So what about the solution of first one? Not correct. This argument is not correct. Not correct. What about the reason? The possible outcomes of tossing, the possible outcomes of tossing two coins equal to what? Head head, head tail, tail head, tail tail. Four possible outcomes we are getting. The possible outcomes of tossing two coins, we are getting four outcomes. In the question we are having, if two coins are tossed simultaneously, there are three possible outcomes. No. The possible outcomes of tossing two coins, we are getting four. Clear? So this argument is not correct. Therefore, for each these outcomes, the probability is 1/3. No, we are having, therefore, for each these outcomes, we are having four outcomes. For each these outcomes, probability of getting head-head, four outcomes we are having. For each outcomes, probability will be probability of head-head, we are getting, what is the probability of an event? Number of favorable outcomes divided of total possible outcomes. So two coins are tossed, then total possible outcomes will be 4, and getting of head-head possible outcomes, number of favorable outcomes will be 1. Probability of getting tail, we are getting 1/4. Probability of getting tail head and head tail, two favorable outcomes, so 2 divided of 4, we are getting 1/2. So we are getting probability of getting head 1/4, probability of getting tail 1/4, probability of getting tail head and head tail 1/2. Clear? But in the question we are having three possible outcomes, and therefore for each these outcomes, the probability is 1/3. Wrong. First, once we toss two coins simultaneously, then we are getting four outcomes: head tail, tail head, tail tail. So this argument is not correct. Clear? Now second one. What about the second one? If die is thrown, there are two possible outcomes, and odd numbers or even numbers. Clear? This is correct. This one is correct. Second argument is correct, because once we throw a die, we are getting 6 possible outcomes. So we can say the total possible outcomes, the total possible outcomes of a die equal to what? 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 possible outcomes. 6 total possible outcomes of a die is what? 6. Clear? Even now, in which even numbers 2 4 6, 3 even numbers, and remaining all are what? 1 3 5. These are what? Odd numbers. Clear? So question is saying if a die is thrown, there are 2 possible outcomes, an odd numbers or an even numbers. Once we throw a die, we are getting either even number or odd number. So this one is what? Correct one. Clear? Therefore, the probability of getting an odd number, probability of getting odd number equal to what? Number of favorable outcomes divided of total possible outcomes, getting a odd number. So once we throw a die, odd numbers are what? 1 3 5. These are odd numbers. So number of favorable outcomes will be what? 3. Total possible outcomes will be what? 6. Solve this one time, 2 times. So we are getting 1 by 2. So probability of getting a odd number, what? 1 by 2. So in which given 1 by 2. So this one is what? Correct. Observe again, simple question. 2 arguments we are having. First one is not correct, but second one is correct. Observe why first one is not correct. If 2 coins are tossed simultaneously, once we toss 2 coins, we are getting headed, head, tail. We are getting 4 outcomes: headed, head, tail, tail, head, tail, tail. But in the question we are having, if 2 coins are tossed simultaneously, there are 3 possible outcomes. No, there are what? 4 possible outcomes. So this sentence, or we can say this argument, is not correct. Now probability, therefore for each these outcomes the probability is 1 by 3. No, for each event, for getting headed, probability is 1 by 4. Getting tail, probability is 1 by 4. Getting one head and one tail, probability is 1 by 2. But in the question we are having 1 by 3, it is wrong. So we can say first one is not correct. But for the second one, second argument, if a die is thrown, once we throw a die, we are getting 6 outcomes, 1 to 6. Either even number or odd number. Clear? If a die is thrown, there are 2 possible outcomes, an odd number or even number. This is correct. Even numbers, we can obtain 2 4 6, or odd numbers, we can obtain odd numbers 1 3 5. So this sentence is correct. Therefore the probability of getting an odd number, probability of getting an odd number is 1 by 2. Yes. What is the formula? Probability of getting an odd number equal to what? Number of favorable outcomes divided of total possible outcomes. For a die, total possible outcomes 6. Now for the odd number, in which we are having 3 odd numbers, 1 3 5. So 3 upon 6, once we solve, we are getting 1 by 2. So probability of getting an odd number is what? 1 by 2. This one is what? Correct. So second is what? Correct argument. I hope you understand this question. That's all about this question. Thank you so much.